the Prophet ﷺ was reported to have said, according to Abu Darda, radiallahu anhu, one of the great companions, radiallahu anhu, قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ليبعثن الله أقواما يوم القيامة في وجوههم النور على منابر اللؤلؤ يغبطهم الناس ليسوا بأنبياء ولا شهداء. قال فجثى أعربي على ركبتيه فقال يا رسول الله حلهم لنا نعرفهم. قال هم المتحابون في الله من قبائل شتى وبلاد شتى يجتمعون على ذكر الله يذكرونه. Imam Hakim relates this hadith and one interpretation, inshallah. Allah will raise up people, aqwam. Qawm is the singular of a people, and the qawm they're from the father. So your qawm is your paternal side in the Arabic tradition, Islamic tradition. The Jewish tradition has the maternal side, but in our tradition, the lineage is through the father, with the exception, obviously, of Fatima, Zahra. There's a big sir in that. So the qawm, لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم. One group of people should not mock another group of people because they might be better than them. ولا نساء من نساء. And women should not, some women shouldn't mock other women. So it excluded the women from the qawm in that ayah. And if you look in the Quran, throughout the Quran, Isa alayhi salam he's really the only prophet. All the prophets, they call their people Ya Qawmi, because they're from them. But Isa says Ya Bani Israel. He doesn't say Ya Qawmi because his mother was from them, but not his father. And these are the subtleties of the Quran that the more you go into it, the more amazed you get. Somebody sent me from Bahrain, Sheikh Nizam al-Yaqubi. He sent me the handasa, the geometry of ikhlas. I don't know if you've seen that. It's amazing. I mean, I have to say, I usually don't like those type things, but this one really was mind-boggling. So he just showed how if you write a square like Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad, and then each one you do, it makes a perfect square and lines up all the. It's really quite stunning to see it. Like it just can't be a coincidence because for that to just be like that, it really was something stunning. And that's one of the interesting things about the Quran is you have these people that start delving into the numbers and the ayahs and what verses are here. And there's a whole tradition that the early people had. For instance, one of the scholars predicted long before the Crusaders conquered Palestine, the year they would conquer Jerusalem, from the Quran. So there's a lot of secrets. The Quran, it's a hidden book, fi kitab maknoon. It's a hidden book. La yamassuhu illa al-mutahharun. The only people that really have access to it are the mutahharun. The people, it's a passive form. It's the people tahharahum Allah. These are the people that Allah has purified. But a lot of these great ulama, they just had amazing openings in the Quran. And then they saw things also that they probably never put down on paper because some things are just, they're not meant for putting down on paper. But this hadith says that Allah will resurrect people on the Day of Judgment, and their faces have lights, and they are on mimbars. Mimbar is anything, the nabra is your voice, so the mimbar is anything that you project voice with. But they're on platforms or dioceses or podiums, really, because the podium is actually what you stand on. From the Latin podes, which is foot, the dais, yeah. And so that's a case where the isti'mal changed. So it went like gha'it in Arabic, used to be a hollow, and then it went to baraz. And so the podium has become the name for the actual lectern, which is the traditional name. Very common in language. So he says that they were on manabir of pearls, pearl manabir. يَغْبِطُهُمْ النَّاسِ, and people will have ghibta for them. So ghibta in Arabic, ghibta is hasad, it's a positive envy. Because when you envy people in a positive way, you want to emulate them, or you wish you were like them because they're good people, but you don't have any malintent towards them. So the hasad that Allah condemns is the hasad where you're angry that they have what they have, and you feel like you should have it instead of them. I mean, one of the greatest literary explorations of envy is in Herman Melville's novella called Billy Budd, which is a very interesting story about envy. And one of the things that Kierkegaard said was that people will admit to a felonious crime before they'll admit to envy. It's just not something people will admit to. I don't know, me envy him. But it's a very serious problem. So the ghibta is that it's a positive thing. They're looking at them and wishing that they were there in their place, but not wanting them to lose that place. So that's a very positive. And the Prophet ﷺ said when in the hadith sahih, La hasada illa fitnatain, there's only two envies. They say it's the ghibta. It's not a negative envy. There's only two types of envy that are praiseworthy. Somebody who's been given knowledge that you don't have, you wish you had it, and then somebody who's been given a lot of wealth, and they spend it out in positive things, like in building and in hospitals and schools, and they do that with their wealth. Those are only two people worth envying, is people of knowledge who teach people, and people who have wealth who use it to benefit people. And so he says, so the Prophet ﷺ is describing them. He said, they're not prophets and they're not martyrs. So how did they get this maqam? They're not prophets and they're not martyrs. So Jatha Arabiyun, A'la Rakbatay, like this Arab, he goes down on his knees and he's like, describe them so we know who they are. Like, like, let's hear who they are. Like, he wants to be one of them. So tell us what got them there. And then he said, Hum al-mutahabbuna fillah. They're people that love one another. They love one another. It's love that got them there. But then the love, what's it based on? Hum min qaba'ila shatta, min biladan shatta. They don't have tribal affiliations. They're from many different tribes, many different races, many different ethnicities, many different countries. And why are they coming together? To remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So may Allah make us from those people on the Day of Judgment, because we have so many places, all these different people are from different places, and I see a lot of light on your faces. May that light increase and be there on the Day of Judgment. But what a great blessing, to just be in gathered to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's nothing else brought us here. It's Ramadan. We came to a place of worship, and then just and alhamdulillah, the love is here. So Allahu Akbar. It's amazing. Alhamdulillah.